Sparrow9642, I take it all back. You were right, I was wrong, because compared to what I have to review today, A Pony's Tale is a masterpiece. Seriously, Gordon Ramsay would have a field day with this abomination. It took me a while to track this one down, as I couldn't locate it on FanFiction or anywhere else until its author, Melody Canvas / Isabella / Bellac27, I'm assuming you're all one and the same entity, provided a direct link to it. A word of advice for future reference: if you are going to go to this much trouble to send me your own work, it is advisable to have some rudimentary grasp of quality control. The basic premise of Shadows in Twilight is that Twilight has been kidnapped by King Sombra. I'll admit I haven't read all of it, as there would really be no point. There is potential for a story here with a conflict and stakes, but all of that falls apart because the execution is so clueless and incompetent. Literally every single line has something wrong with it. But let's deconstruct it from the beginning. It was a normal day in Ponyville. Everyone was happy and going about their day as they always did. Straight away we have a grammatical error. Also, this whole line is cliché and redundant and should just be removed. Especially Princess Twilight Sparkle, as she usually did, she read. The punctuation is all wrong, so this doesn't make any sense. As she read, she was walking home after a long day of meetings with the delegates of Canterlot. Delegates of Canterlot. It's this kind of thing that makes me wonder if this is even real or if it is just trolling. Either way, it is a waste of my time. You don't need a critic or even somebody with writing experience to point out these errors. You just need common sense. So that was just the first paragraph, and every other paragraph is equally riddled with mistakes. The tense changes at random, everything is described in the most awkward and clunky way possible, and the author feels the need to refer to Sombra's evil / lustful / dashing grin at least 3 or 4 times in each chapter. There are also these strange repetitions. She was absolutely beautiful to look at. Her mane was a beautiful shade of dark purple, with streaks of light purple and pink. Thanks, I really needed reminding what Twilight looks like. Her breathing was slow and steady, and he could see she a sight to behold. Beautiful, he thought to himself. You can probably tell by now that this is going to turn into a clopfic. If you read far enough in, there is a rape scene, and it's just as cringy as you would expect. There's nothing inherently wrong with mature content of this nature being in fanfiction. It's similar to shipping. A while ago I was asked in the comments to talk about shipping, but there's not really a lot to say. If I don't like 2 characters being shipped together, that's just personal taste. It shouldn't affect any pony else's preferences. Likewise, it doesn't make sense to have any reaction other than indifference to pony porn. Others can indulge in whatever suits them as long as it is kept to one corner of the internet. That said, if you want your mature work to be successful, it is important to have good control of tone. For example, going from a happy day in Ponyville to Sombra stalking Twilight like a pantomime villain to sexual assault and violence, then rape, is incredibly jarring and not in a good way. Also, saying a character is beautiful is the equivalent of saying nothing. It is all about specificity of detail. How is she beautiful? What contextual elements make the situation erotic? Oh, and on the subject of being jarring, can we please stop capitalizing whenever there is a loud noise? It is immensely irritating. There is another subplot, which is Spike and the others trying to find out what has happened to Twilight, and it's about as nonsensical as everything else. Spike sends Celestia a letter to tell her that he is coming to Canterlot so he can tell her Twilight has disappeared. Why doesn't he just say that in the letter? There's an entirely pointless paragraph about Spike buying a train ticket. No suspense, no atmosphere, no advancement of the plot, just Spike buying a train ticket. I don't care. He meets Lyra on the train and she is worried about Twilight too, and then they go their separate ways. Will we see Lyra again? Somehow I doubt it. At some point the story just gives up on itself and we get these bizarre scene directions, as though it can't decide whether it wants to be prose or a script. Whatever it is, it's certainly not worth any more of my time, let alone a mark out of 5. Remember, if you have an artwork or topic or anything pony related you'd like to see on this channel, you should send it to me through YouTube or through my Facebook, which is in the description below. Just be aware that I do reserve the right to be brutally honest. I'm Midnight, and I'll see you next time.